Hi guys, it's Mike. Talking to you in this video about how to keep your pipes from freezing in your house. So first video we talked about when to start taking precautions against the effects of cold weather. Now we're going to talk about what to do when that weather's going to get cold, specifically to protect the water system inside your house. So a couple things you can do. First thing, let's start on the outside of the house and then we'll kind of work in. Outside of the house, if you know cold weather's coming, best thing you can do is shut off your faucets outside. I'm talking about your hose bibs outside where you'd connect your garden hose to. Close those, don't let them run at all. Get one of those covers. So there's a few different types of covers that you can pick up at Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever hardware store you have close to you. One is made of styrofoam and the other one is like a Cordura, kind of a soft material. Basically what they do is they both connect to the hose bib and they kind of form a seal around it, and it's just giving some insulation around that hose bib. So if you're going to get cold weather, it'll keep the hose bib from freezing is the idea for that one. So that'd be the first thing I'd do. Even if it's going to be a little, in the low 20s, high teens, it's probably not a bad idea to do. That keeps you from busting any of your hose bibs or pipes that go into the walls from there. Next thing I do, if it's going to get cold, and I mean really cold, we're talking, single digits or teens for a long period of time, or if you have a house that's particularly susceptible to, it's not insulated well, it's susceptible to cold water or cold weather damage, go ahead and run your water. A lot of people have asked during this time, this last cold storm that we had, is it better to shut the water off at the street or keep the water running, or what do I do? It's a common misconception that shutting the water off at the street is actually going to protect your house, because a lot of people think if you shut the water out there, if you shut it off out there and then drain the pipes inside, then there's not going to be any water in the pipes. But the problem is water doesn't flow uphill. And so especially if you have a two-story house, typically the street is lower than your house and there's no pressure to push the water out of your pipes. So once you close that valve out at the road, it's going to not allow the pressure to move the water that's in your pipes, and that water's just going to sit there. It's going to sit in the low points in your house, and you're not even going to know it, and you're going to think that you're fine, but it's actually your pipes are full of water. And cold water just sitting there and not moving is like the worst thing you can do when it's going to get cold, and that's where you'll have issues with freeze ups and pipes busting. So leave the water running. Is my biggest recommendation, and that's on the hot water side and cold water side. And really how much you let run kind of depends on how cold it's going to be. If it's just going to be, cool in the high teens, low 20s during the night, just a constant drip out of the faucet, mix in a little hot water so the hot water system's moving as well. That should be fine. Really, when it comes to fighting cold with water systems, you have two things. You have heat or you have motion. And what you don't want to do is have no heat and no motion. So with heat, we really don't have heat in these homes like in the walls, because again, there's not much insulation. So you want to keep your water moving, and that's going to keep things from freezing up. So keep them dripping. If it's going to be a whole lot colder, or if we're going to have a power outage, which we just found out is a very real possibility, go ahead and crank up that flow rate. Instead of just a drip, have a pretty constant stream. It doesn't have to be full bore, because that's going to cost you an arm and a leg. But one thing to remember is just, hey, it's going to be a whole lot cheaper to run a little extra water versus having a plumber come out and have to, re-plumb your systems, fix a bunch of busted pipes and stuff like that. So highly recommend you run, and we're talking all your faucets, not just the ones on exterior walls. That's another common misconception, is that I only need to run the ones on exterior walls. Thing is, you don't know where those pipes go in the walls. Some of them go up in the attic, some of them are in exterior walls. So just because you have a faucet in the middle of the house, like let's say it's a kitchen island, and you think, well, there's no way this would freeze. Not the case, because that pipe has to go somewhere, and almost guarantee that it's in a wall somewhere, and that wall gets cold. So run them all, even run, your showers, let them drip, tubs, let them drip, all that, and just keep that water moving. And that's what you want to do. So that's the best thing you can do really to prevent freeze ups and to prevent pipes from breaking. In the next video, we'll go into how do you know when you have something frozen and what to do if you have a broken pipe, or how to find that. So that's all I have for this. Want to keep it short. Again, if you got comments, questions, or know something else that you'd want to share, share it in the comments. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.